Hey, how's it going, my friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Life. And as promised, I'm doing a Q&A. So I asked y'all to leave me questions in my last two videos that I uploaded last week. And I have several questions here to answer for y'all. The first few were asked in my toy collection video. And the first three questions are from Papa Bear Gaming. And he asks, do you have any pets? Yes, I have one cat. I did have two, but one sadly passed away last year. Had her for 9 years. She was a great cat. For years, she was always very playful. She loved the laser pointer. I used to drive her crazy with that thing, and yeah, she was just a great cat. But I still have my other cat. Her name was Persephone, and my cat that I still have now, his name's Hades. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, so you got Hades and Persephone. But I still have Hades. He's still a big baby, even though he's 10 years old now. But I love him to death. The second question: what is your favorite action figures to collect? Uh, as like Masters of the Universe or GI Joe, etc. I would have to go with Transformers, as y'all probably saw in my collection video. I have a good bit of those, and those are the ones I love to collect the most out of like the big, as far as the big toy lines. Now, collector figure lines, I do like NECA. I've got several NECA figures from different uh, genres, like horror movies, and I have some cartoon characters like the gargoyles. But yeah, but Transformers is definitely my favorite. And the last question from Papa Bear Gaming: what's your favorite horror movie franchise? My favorite franchise as a whole, several years ago I probably would have said Halloween, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I only like 4 movies out of that whole franchise. So, but as a whole franchise, I think I would say, I think I would go with The Conjuring, because I loved every single one of them movies, and I'm talking about the ones within the same universe too. Like, I enjoyed all 3 Conjuring movies. I enjoyed all 3 Annabelle movies, and even enjoyed The Nun. Not as much as I did the others, but still, it's thus a franchise I can sit and watch every single movie from beginning to end and enjoy it. So I'm gonna go with The Conjuring. And the next set of questions, I have 3 questions from Two-Face Solo. First, he asks, what is your favorite video game console and why? That would be the Super Nintendo, and it was my very first console. I got it Christmas of '97. I've been told this story, I know, but just bear with me. But yeah, I got the second model SNES, what I've heard people call the SNES Junior. It came with Yoshi's Island as a packing game, and I just remember spending about four and a half, maybe 5 hours Christmas just playing Yoshi's Island, trying to get through the first world at least. And I kept on playing until I was able to beat the first world that day within 4.5 and no, excuse me, 4.5 to 5 hours. It took bunch of deaths, bunch of game overs, a little frustration, but I was able to beat World 1 that day. But yeah, the Super Nintendo is definitely my favorite video game console. The next question from Two-Face Solo: who is your favorite wrestler of all time and why? Macho Man Randy Savage. And why? Because he was awesome. I loved the way he talked. He did his. I loved his promos. I loved his finishing move, the flying elbow drop. Man, that thing was just a thing of beauty. I still love it. It's still one of my favorite wrestling finishers of all time. The way he would just dive off that top rope with that elbow out and just boom. Man, I love that move. Macho Man Randy Savage, my favorite wrestler of all time. Uh, the last question from him is, what is your favorite find while game/toy hunting? That's a little bit of a difficult question. For game hunting, I would have to say this was several years ago, maybe I want to say 2012. I had went into town with a friend of mine and we stopped by a pawn shop, and while we were there I was looking around that they had some old video games. I was looking through them and I found Yoshi's Island on Super Nintendo. I found the original Yoshi's Island cartridge there. He had it. The guy had it there for like $5. I had it priced at $5. But yeah, I just remember seeing that, and I'm like, that is like one of my favorite games of all time. My favorite Super Nintendo games. So yeah, I ended up buying it. It's still a copy that I still have now. Bought it in 2012 from a pawn shop for $5. Go figure, because now it's like $50. But yeah, that was one of the best games I've ever found while retro game hunting. Granted, I don't go game hunting very much because I don't have any like local retro game stores, and thrift stores sadly don't carry that kind of stuff anymore. Most of their stores put like cartridge-based games on eBay, on their eBay stores. At least my local thrift shops do. So yeah, that would be my favorite find for that. And toy hunting was a few years ago. I was at a store called Second and Charles, and this is my first two vintage toy pickups. My first two that I added to my collection. It was the Toy Biz X-Men figure of Storm. I found it still on card for like $14. And at the time, I didn't know anything about what they were worth or anything. So I'm seeing like a action figure from 1991 still on card for like $14. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting this. And so I grabbed it, not knowing they're not really worth a whole lot, but that didn't matter. It was still like a part of my childhood because I had that same figure when I was a kid. I'll keep looking over there because it's right over there. But yeah, that, and that same day I was looking around more, and I happened to come across the Star Wars Power of the Force Princess Leia on card for $12. And I was like, well, there's another one, 1996, couple of dollars less than the Storm figure. I'm getting that too. So I ended up buying two vintage action figures that same day, and so far that was my favorite ones to find because I had them as a kid. I know a lot of collectors don't like Power of the Force line. I really don't understand why, or don't know why. So if any of y'all can let me know in the comment section why Power of the Force is not very well liked. That was my childhood toy line though for Star Wars. Nothing against the old Kenner figures because those are really cool too, but that was before my time, so didn't really have any of those. But yeah, that was my favorite find toy hunting. The Storm figure and the Princess Leia. Okay, so next question is from Buzzsaw Gaming. Oh, and these next questions are from my Super Nintendo game unboxing video that I did a few days ago. And he asked the same question that one of the same questions that Two-Face Solo did, but that's okay. He didn't know. And that's, what's your favorite console? But I can answer that by saying my second favorite, and that is the Nintendo 64, of course. I can't talk. The Nintendo 64 is my second all-time favorite console. I was able to buy me another one in 2018. Yeah, 2018. I found one on Facebook Marketplace. Luckily, he was local, so met him in the parking lot of my local Walmart, and he sold it to me for $80 for the console, a controller, and like 6 games, all for like $80 plus the power cord and the AV cables. So I thought that was an amazing deal for that. I snatched that deal up, and I've had it ever since. I've been playing it. I've added way more games since then, of course. But yeah, I need to clean it. It's that time. It's that time to clean it. But yeah, the Nintendo 64 has so many great games. Of course, GoldenEye 007, WCW Revenge, WWF No Mercy, Super Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Just so many amazing games. Those are just in my top 10 favorite games. But yeah, that's my another favorite console, the Nintendo 64. The next question is from Dark Death Rider TV, and he asks, as a kid, did you beat a game that you're having a tough time beating now? Actually, yeah. Yeah. It's actually just the most recent pickup I did is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. I remember as a kid, I played through that game and beat it like 2 or 3 times. And I haven't had much time to play it a lot lately because of my work, but the other day I tried playing through it because I woke up a little bit earlier than I normally do. I couldn't even get past the second stage. I was having trouble getting past the second stage in that game. And you only have like 2 lives. I don't remember it being that difficult, but apparently, yeah. They have a difficulty option, but it's only normal and hard. I chose normal, and it starts you out with 2 lives. Once you lose those lives, you just said game over. So yeah, I had a very tough time getting past the second stage and that Power Rangers game. It's crazy. I was able to beat it twice as a kid, and I can't get past the second stage now. So it is what it is. I'm gonna keep trying though. I may try it tonight. But the next question is from a new subscriber. I'm gonna try to say his name right. JZipsRS is the name. JZipsRS. Okay, yeah. And he asks, or she asks, what is your favorite? Sorry, dropped something. What is your favorite game movie adaptation? That would be a tie between Mortal Kombat from 1995 and the first 2 Resident Evil movies, because I really enjoyed at least the first 2 of that series, of that franchise. But yeah, Mortal Kombat is just a classic. I love that movie. The fight scenes in that movie are freaking awesome. The battle between Scorpion and Johnny Cage, starting out in the forest, and then they're in basically hell or the nether realm. That's one of my favorite fight scenes in the movie. Plus, and the Liu Kang versus Reptile fight was awesome as well. And the first two Resident Evil movies are just badass. I can't never get her name right, but the woman that plays Alice in that movie, in those movies, she's a freaking badass. And so much really cool action in those movies. I love the look of the zombie dogs in the first movie and the second one. So that's all the questions I have. Just want to thank y'all for leaving these for me to answer. I really appreciate all of you for always watching my videos and commenting. I love interacting with y'all. So thank y'all so much. And that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have an awesome day. Take care.